Hello everybody, welcome to my first monthly album batch. I don't really know what to call it, because I don't really want to call it like a, what is it, a monthly album review, I don't know, but for now I'll just call it monthly album batch. Anyway, welcome. This month of January I'll be reviewing 15 albums. The way this is going to work is 3 albums will get a bit longer reviews because I either think they're more popular or more important to me because I either think they're good or really bad. And then the other 12 will get smaller reviews in between the bigger reviews. So I'll be dividing this video up into sections based on 3 albums that I'll be reviewing in Big, Dawn FM, the new Earl Sweatshirt, and the new Yard Act album. But yeah, so might as well get started with this album. God. Dawn FM by The Weeknd is not a worthy follow-up to After Hours. I guess the concept of the album is this radio station that plays till the end of your life. So the final song, or the final spoken word, closer I guess, is the end of your life, I guess, I don't know. However, the main issues I find with this album are it's trying to take 80s with, I don't know, very boring measures, and it goes back on all of the sort of ideas explored on After Hours, as After Hours was more seeing how drugs and alcohol and sex weren't things to be bragging about, however things to be scared of, how they can sometimes hurt you, and the partying and all of that. This album just throws all that out the window and says, okay, let's make an 80s record. And while The Weeknd does fine here, I don't think a lot of the beats are able to support him. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely songs that I think are standalones and are good. Sacrifice, Here We Go Again, and then there's one more. Less Than Zero, that's what it is. I do like all of those songs, however, the vast majority of these are just not good. I mean, just looking at this track list, How Do I Make You Love Me is, I don't know, its editing isn't very good. Like, I can hear the loop, where the loop ends and then begins. I can hear that. Its chorus isn't very good. I mean, it's just not good. And they ruined my favorite Weeknd song, Take My Breath, which was originally a 3.5-minute 80s throwback that was really good, I thought. And now it's still good. It's just, it's dragged out for longer than necessary. I mean, I get that they want the dance remix or whatever the fuck, but like, is that necessary? Is that useful to someone that I don't know about? I don't know, like, or even the Lil Wayne feature, I Heard You're Married, has a pretty decent beat, another terrible chorus. He's mad because he can't have someone, so he cheats. That's the premise of The Weeknd's verse here. But Lil Wayne is actually really good on this song. And the 2 features are outshining The Weeknd both times with flying colors. Tyler, the Creator, is the best thing on this album, and I will quote that. I mean, I don't know. This just reeks of someone thinking of how to be quote-unquote different just so they don't fit in, but in the end just not being that. This is a 4 out of 10 if I've ever heard one. Now let's get to 4 albums just in succession. Look, Corey Wong will always be a good artist. I think he'll always have good albums, and even his demos are better than some of the bigger releases this month. So, take of that what you will. The guitar work is almost perfect on all of these songs, and there are very few moments that I'd skip. This new Foxtails record is really good. It's some good screamo music that I really enjoy. There are very few tracks I'd skip here, and even the skippable tracks aren't necessarily bad, they're just a bit boring. The guitar's almost always on point, and the choruses are some of the best, not to mention the vocals, which are amazing. Yeah. This new Corday record really shows how he can grow as an artist and somehow continue to advance with almost no problem. I mean, it's certainly better than his debut, which I didn't love or like very much, but, you know, I got it. Like, I get it. I get why he made it. I understand it. But the beats on this, the flows on this, the features on this are incredible. On the other hand, this Token record, his debut studio album, as someone who has enjoyed some of Token's music, especially from his mixtapes, such as Eraser Shavings, and mainly just Eraser Shavings, this doesn't work at all. There's maybe 2 songs I wouldn't skip, Be Happy and Chit Chat, but other than that, Token is outshined on every count with the features. His lyrics aren't as good as they used to be, and they weren't really that good to begin with. The concept of this album is just kind of stupid to me. I don't know. I really like Earl Sweatshirt, like, a lot. I think he's a pretty good artist. However, I don't know. I don't think this album is as good as some rap songs. Meanwhile, I do love that album, but this, I don't know, it falls short on some counts. Certainly there are songs in this where it's incredible and I couldn't get enough of it, such as the title track, such as 2010, such as Fire in the Hole. However, there's also songs in this like God Laughs, Lobby Int, and Tabula Rose, where I just wish I never heard them, you know what I mean? Earl Sweatshirt's game on this is really good. Some of the beats on this are immaculate, and the choruses on this are insane. And, I mean, I like that Earl is still actively trying to be different, but it's really the same issue I ran into with that Dawn FM album, is that they are trying specifically to think of how to be different, and that doesn't really work in trying to be different because you end up sounding corny. It's much better when different comes on spontaneously, like it does with A$AP Rock's albums, where different is just an accessory. It's not the main portion. It's the appetizer, not the meal. I mean, so the flows on this are definitely the best flows I've heard this month, with the exception of that Corday album. But yeah, I give this a light 7 out of 10. After the Lumineers came off 3, I was expecting a better record, but I was also expecting a worse record. Let me explain. I've never been a big fan of the Lumineers, however, I have understood the appeal. I do like their self-titled, and I do like 3. However, Cleopatra is a terrible record that has no right to exist. But I was expecting this to be more like Cleopatra, but I also was hoping it was more like 3, because 3 had this emotional intensity that is unparalleled to any of the Lumineers albums yet, with songs such as Jimmy Sparks, which is easily their best song in their discography. However, this is okay, I guess. I mean, the one thing I'll always be able to give the Lumineers is that they're descriptive. The one thing I can't is that it's always interesting. This album is just a Lumineers album trying to not be a Lumineers album. This was the first metal album I listened to this year. I wish I didn't listen to this metal album this year. Contrary to Country Stuff, the EP, I actually do think there's stuff on this album that's enjoyable. However, there's only 2 songs that I really think are good. Everything else can be simply described by the fact that the person who produced most of this album was named Shane McAnally, and in the first song, the line, "and she was smoking cigarette regrets." This new Under Oath album is actually okay. I don't love it by any means. I think some of it can drone on, and I think they try to go for softer sounds, which I don't think really suits them. But there are definitely tracks on here, like Damn Excuses and Hallelujah, which I will be bumping till the end of the year. Yeah. This album, oh my god. I cannot rave enough about this album. It's such a good one. I mean, throughout the entire thing, the guitar, the percussion, and the choruses slap. Not to mention the political side of it, which almost always resonates with me, and the talky vocals, which usually doesn't work for anyone else, really suits this guy in this band. This is Britpop like I have never heard it before, and I'm only using Britpop as a general term because I don't know what else to call it. I think the best song on this is a tie between Land of the Blind and The Incident, but those are both really good songs, and both 11 out of 10s in my opinion, so yeah. I am easily feeling like this is the newest collection to the previously 15, now 16, 10 out of 10 albums. This is incredible. If you want just a small taste, not the best, but not the worst, quote-unquote, I'd listen to Quarantine the Sticks, or the title track and opener, The Overload. This is an incredible album. Just listen to it all. It's only like half an hour, I think. But it stands its ground through that half an hour. Last year, I listened to All Dogs Go to Heaven, the Glaive EP, and I wasn't mad at it, but I wasn't thoroughly impressed. There were songs like Detest Me and Stephanie that I thought were really good, but this is just not. Old Dog New Tricks has maybe one good song, Icarus, but other than that, nothing else is really salvageable. This Mo album feels very watered down. Her vocal performances, while good, don't seem to match the instrumentals ever. It's just a very meh of an album. This Pine Grove album is really good. It's very chill, it's very mellow, and some of the lyrics are on point. My personal favorite is in Habitat. God, I'm so dumb. Never Forget, the t-shirt says, with no mask on, which is in reference to 9/11 and COVID-19, which COVID-19 killed more than 9/11, so it's a whole thing. But some of the lyrics are just on point. This Kyle album is really chill. It's some R&B rap. However, it doesn't always work. He's trying to go for the same ideas like Zach Fox, where some of the lyrics are kind of funny, and, you know, it's not meant to be taken seriously, but, I mean, Kyle just can't seem to pull it off. I don't know.
Did you see someone posted on